during my relationship with my narcissistic ex, I dealt with, on a daily basis, abuse that is indescribable, that people don't always even recognize unless they've experienced it. One of the things I experienced that I think you might relate to is intentional sleep deprivation, sleep abuse. When you deal with a narcissist, you might experience a number of forms of abuse. One of the most painful and sneaky is sleep abuse. A lot of people don't even realize that's a thing until they see a video like this. So that's what we're talking about today at queenbeing.com. Narcissists and why they sleep deprive us. So let's get started. Closed captioning provided by Athena Moberg and CPTSDFoundation.org. My name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. So this was true in my own relationship, and this is true in many relationships where you have a toxic person or a narcissist or anyone with a cluster B type disorder. What happens is a narcissist will in some way prevent you from sleeping or wake you up in the middle of the night unexpectedly, or in any number of different ways prevent you from getting quality sleep. So a couple of examples of this: Richard Grannon, I was talking with him during an interview earlier today on a different channel, and he mentioned that his ex would physically wake him up and scream at him at 3 o'clock in the morning. And there are situations like in my case, my ex would keep me up arguing all night. Or there are situations where narcissists will wake up their primary source of supply to cook them some dinner or make them a lunch for work that day, even though they kept him up half the night. Or situations where the narcissist has a really big important thing to talk about and must wake you up in the middle of the night, or they want intimate attention, or they have any number of excuses. But what it all comes down to is that by depriving you of sleep, you become more controllable, more emotional, less able to think logically, and more likely to doubt yourself and think you're crazy. That's the truth. Sometimes sleep deprivation comes in the form of, we have to resolve this argument before we can sleep. Sometimes it comes in the form of, we have this big important conversation we must have right now and tomorrow won't work. So what if you have to wake up early and go to work? It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to the narcissist. They're only focusing on what they want, what they need. A lot of people say, so what? Sleep deprivation is no big deal. But it's almost a form of torture. It is one way they reach in and kind of twist us a little bit and make it harder for us to function like a normal person. We feel exhausted all the time, our head's foggy, and then we're unclear. And this is more often an issue in toxic relationships than you can even imagine. In fact, the reason I'm doing this video is because I mentioned sleep abuse in my stream this morning. As I was looking through the comments that I didn't get to at the end of the stream, I noticed that one of my viewers asked me, wait a minute, is sleep deprivation a form of abuse? Yes, it is. So you already know that sleep deprivation will cause you to feel tired and cranky, out of sorts, grumpy, groggy, but it does a lot more than that. The long-term effects could literally physically kill you. But let's talk about some of the different ways that sleep deprivation messes with your head and your body. So when you sleep, this signals your body to do all kinds of important things. It releases hormones that lowers your risk for a bunch of different health conditions. It helps you manage your hunger levels. It helps you maintain your immune system and even your memory. Not only that, it just helps you live longer and really remain sane. But if you're not getting that sleep that you need, not only might you deal with things like high blood pressure, heart problems, weight gain, and immune system that doesn't work as well as it should, but you're also going to have things like trouble concentrating, trouble thinking straight, or a lack of problem-solving skills, a lack of creativity, a lack of ability to understand a person and a thing and a concept. Memory issues, like we said, and a lack of sleep over a long period of time can affect both short-term and long-term memories. That's definitely not going to bode well for you when you're dealing with a narcissist who's always trying to manipulate you. You're more likely to have accidents, car accidents, tripping over the flower on the rug accidents, physical accidents. You're probably going to be very moody if you don't sleep right. You're going to have up and down mood swings. You're going to be more emotional, more quick-tempered. You're going to give the narcissist more of exactly what they want, which is your extreme emotion. You're going to be dealing with more anxiety, more depression. Lack of sleep is going to put you at an increased risk for things like diabetes, and of course, like we said, heart problems, blood pressure problems. In fact, back before I lost weight, I had sleep apnea. When I did a sleep study, they said I was waking up 155 times an hour. During that time, I was not actually sleeping beyond like a doze ever. I never went below like the second stage of sleep, and my blood pressure was so high that I was going to die if I didn't get some treatment. It's serious. You cannot be healthy without sleep. not physically, not mentally. Like I said, the weakened immunity is a problem. So you're more likely to get sick, and when you get sick a little, you can be more likely to get sick a lot. Common cold, flu, and more. The reason you might get diabetes or are at an increased risk for that when you don't get enough sleep is because not getting enough sleep changes the way that your body deals with insulin, and that can lead you to basically getting type 2 diabetes. Of course, on that same token, like I said, weight gain, it's all connected. You also might have poor balance, which could account for the increased level of injuries that happen when we don't get enough sleep. And of course, a lack of sex drive, which may or may not be a concern for you at this point if you're dealing with a narcissist. It also affects your central nervous system. This is how we remember new information that we've learned. And I could go into all of the details, but I'm not going to today. What it comes down to is that a lack of sleep that is inflicted by a narcissist is another way that they abuse and manipulate us. If you want to be healthy, if you want to be happy, if you want to change your life, you've got to get some sleep. You cannot do any of those things without sleep. So if you're dealing with a narcissist who is intentionally interrupting your sleep and you can't get away, start by taking little naps during the day if you can when they're not with you, or get out. But it's so difficult to function as a normal person when you're not getting any sleep. And this is exactly what the narcissist wants. They want to control you. They want to manipulate you. And you're so much easier to control and manipulate when they force you not to sleep. This is a problem. This brings me to the question of the day. And the question of the day is, have you ever experienced sleep deprivation, sleep abuse from a narcissist? And how did you handle it? And if you haven't, what do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts, share your ideas, share your experiences in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. All right, that's all I've got for you right now. But as always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. Now, before I go, make sure you take a look at the videos I'm leaving for you right here and right here. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button right there so we can stay connected and continue on this healing journey together. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you soon.